Closer look at those front pages, starting with the Telegraph, Paul.
Yes, and the national service story rolls on and rolls on. Young royals face national service in Sunak plan. So the Conservative Party have been told by the Telegraph, told the Telegraph, should I say, that this is including royal children as they're expected to take part too.
Wait, when they're just 5 years old?
Yes, they're going to start immediately. Obviously they're supposed to start at 18, but if you're royal, then you just have to do it straight away, don't you?
I thought the royals did this anyway. I mean, Prince Harry, Prince Charles, everybody, Prince Andrew, of course, served. Did he serve in the Falklands?
I believe so, yeah.
And
yes.
As a result, he's seen as a hero.
Yes.
In this country.
So it's not surprising or new, is it? But we're also talking about National Health Service and other things. This is what the Labour Party have called a gimmick, probably correctly, and I think almost certainly correctly. But it's the last time we had National Service was 1947, which was actually brought in by the Labour Party.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting now.
A few years too late for the war.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit after the fact. I imagine that they're wanting to. That this headline here is really because Sunak knows this is going to be unpopular, and he's saying the Royals are going to do it as well, and of course we're all going to be rushing to hospital to have Nurse Royal Princess take our pee bottle from us or whatever. So it does kind of work, but it's I remember when work experience happened back in the 80s, and suddenly there was loads of 18-year-olds in the way in every business everywhere. Your job's opening a drawer and closing it. Just keep out my way, and that was what it was. So.
But I think I'm not as cynical as Kerry. I think national service would be a great idea. I think it would have done me a world of good as a feckless youth.
We all think that about you. Yes. We've had many discussions about what could have helped you.
I agree to some extent. The idea of bringing young people together in one sort of cohesive thing to do.
Sure.
I think
that isn't Glastonbury.
Yeah, or
that works.
Or recreational drugs.
Yeah.
Then I think it is a good thing, but I just don't see it being fulfilled under this particular policy. I don't think it'll be enough. I think it will appeal to certain Tory voters, for sure. Yeah, it may even appeal to some Labour voters, but they'll already be voting for reform.
So, certainly through the Red Wall and so on, but it's also how they're going to pay for it is through cracking down on tax avoidance and evasion. And the problem with this is that we hear these things like, you've been in government for 14 years. If you could crack down on tax avoidance and evasion, then really why haven't you done that? And also, there's loads of questions here on paying for it, on what kind of punishment there'll be for refusal to take part, what exemptions there'll be, how the training exercise will work for all this. And I'm not sure. I think if it is a good idea, I'm not sure it's a really good idea to bring out during a snap election where we have no time to get a proper discussion going.
Although it's quite a good time to bring it out when we could be going to war with Russia.
Yes, there is that.
Baltic countries, and I think Poland as well, are saying they'll send troops into Ukraine if Russia advances any further.
To be fair, I'd want the Polish young people to be defending us rather than our young people. I mean, there's also a story in The Guardian about this where they say no one's going to go to jail for avoiding it. So at the end of the day, teenagers, they need to know that there's going to be consequences for not doing mandatory things. and this isn't going to help, is it? It's mandatory, but if you don't do it, don't worry about it.
Well, I expect Sunak to say we'll find other ways to get them.